Hey, we're here.
Wait, I was like, they
Welcome.
probably like, damn, they late already, and we gotta do a 30-second countdown.
Well, look, we still have to prepare. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry that we are late. We got caught up just having good conversation. So my apologies.
Hey
Um,
guys,
hey y'all. How are you guys today? Chanise, Ryan, Michael. What's going on with y'all?
it's all good in the neighborhood over here.
I'm I'm Gucci. I'm Gucci. Do people
You
still say that?
Gucci.
I think
I'm
they
good.
do.
I haven't heard, but okay. Michael, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm swell. Do people still say that?
My grandmom does. Thomas.
Oh God. We don't know what time is here.
Hey,
Art.
What's up,
What's up,
Art?
Art? What's good? All right. We're here to talk about this new part of American Horror Story, Death Valley, the alien part. After a disappointing episode of American Horror Story last week. Well, technically 2 weeks because it's now a new week, but whatever. So real quick. Actually, not even real quick. We're just gonna go in. What do you guys think about this episode so far? I mean,
So
I liked it, but what you guys think?
surprisingly, I did like it. I was it put the finale put me off because I was like, I ain't even for it. Like I really just to watch. But I
Mhm.
surprisingly liked it. And then I liked the whole black and white version better, like more than I liked the color version. Like
Okay.
you know how they split or whatever. I mean, the color version wasn't bad either. But I
Yeah.
just was like, if it was to stay black and white, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
You know, like I
It
don't
was
know. I
more
like that
interesting.
whole back in the it was. I like that whole back in the day thing. And then you see, you got people still ain't watching their kids because their lady in the beginning. Billy is out here riding in all these tornadoes, and you just out the window saying, you
Was his
know,
name really Billy?
no, I don't know. I have no clue.
was
I'm
it
guessing
Tommy?
name.
I think it actually might have
Wait,
been
I think she
That's everything.
Tommy
I'm
or
done.
she was calling him Tommy, wasn't she?
I feel like that's what his name.
I don't
And
remember.
then
So
like
if it's Tommy, then
even when
okay.
she like ran out the house after she seen what was going on, she still like stopped on the steps like go get your kid. Like what's
Yeah.
happening? So
Keep
by the
going.
time she
Keep going.
She
Yeah,
just
they
left that
had
kid
little
out there.
Tommy outside by himself a little bit too long.
yeah.
The black and white, they probably could have stayed there, and I'd have been happy too, to be honest. There was just a lot of jumping around. I think it kind of shorted my circuits a little bit, but you know, it was whatever. I really like the idea of like putting Roswell, Amelia Earhart, and all these little elements together. That was cute.
That
It
was.
could have stayed there. I'd have been okay with that.
Yeah.
Well, I
We have some
agree with y'all.
Oh, go ahead, Michael. Sorry.
I agree. Oh, no, I was just gonna say I agree. I like the I guess flashback more so than what the modern story was. So I thought that the flashback would have been very interesting if they just stayed in that the whole time. But I do like aliens, so I was with it either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I like both of them. It was a little bit. I agreed. Like the whole black and white portion of the episode was really, really good. The second part, I just know it's going to tie in somehow with the black and white portion. I mean, it has to, but I don't know. It raises still a lot of questions because like how the whole Amelia Earhart situation is going to tie in, and then what's the deal with Sarah Paulson's character in that older that portion. So it's still a lot to figure out because it's only episode 1, but we're getting what 4 episodes this part.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I didn't look it up.
6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so we getting 4. So we got 3 more episodes. So I wonder what they're going to do because
See, they the last people that need to be shortening their episodes because they can't even get it right. So It already got me thinking, like, what the hell is going to go on these next couple episodes, because they can't even get a finale together after 9 episodes. Okay.
4 episodes might be the sweet spot. You put up Amelia Earhart. I know who she is. I didn't. I had to look her up though, because I was trying to figure out why this was even in the show. So I didn't realize she disappeared.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, because like when I was a kid, I was into like weird mysteries like that. So I always knew who Amelia Earhart was, and I always thought it was really cool that there was this idea that in the Bermuda Triangle there might be something wrong, like a glitch that you can slip into. So I appreciate them like touching on that, because I've been a fan of that since a kid. Like, oh my god!
And I feel like it wouldn't be American Horror Story if they didn't do something like that. They always bring a piece of history inside one of their shows. So I love that they did that. And then we had Lily Rabe back as Amelia Earhart. And I love Lily Rabe, because every character they get her to play, she kills it. And like she even embodies the characters that she's supposed to play, like real life characters. Like for instance, she was supposed to play Eileen Wuornos in Hotel. And when you look at Eileen Wuornos and like her mannerisms and how she talked, Lily Rabe did that in Hotel. Like she cracked me up as that serial killer, because it was just so spot on. And then this right here, I don't know Amelia Earhart, but like just her accent and just everything, I believed her. So I don't know.
Yeah,
if Sarah Paulson was to ever go, I feel like they would make Lily Rabe like the next, I guess, lead, because
she does good with playing the different characters. Like she's not like a Emma Roberts. That's her name.
Yeah.
Or like the other one, Ursula.
Oh yeah.
So, because those type. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that those type of people can't play different roles good. They just not good at it. That's all I was going to say.
It's not. They're not that strong.
Give her a chance.
I was only going to say I forgot that she could switch in and out of roles like that until this, because like I like Lily Rabe, so I don't really pay close attention to her, because like I think I've taken her for granted, because like when she comes, she has a great time, and I don't really think about it. But the accent she was doing in this, I actually was like, is she really doing that accent? Like it's really believable.
It was good. Yeah.
Her she always kill her performances. I love her. Yeah. Evan says, I really do not know how I should feel about this part just yet. I was watching the episode with a kind question mark on my face. I mean, American Horror Story, when you get into the first episode of all of them, is a fucking big ass question mark. We don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, I just wanted to say like kudos to them, because even the like the first part, Red Tide, the first episodes really were like really good. So like it, usually like people would be like, oh, this season is slow, you know what I mean, like right off the bat. But these two, like the first episode on Red Tide was like everything to me, even though it was just like them going to the house and everything like that. It just was like so dark, and like I don't know, it had me like really excited. And I think that this first episode too, I wouldn't say that I was really excited because I'm skeptical after the finale, but I was pleasantly surprised that it was like, it was good. It wasn't rushed. They gave us information, and they don't know how to keep that up, but they did a good job for the first episode, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Art said, I predict the first half of each episode will be 1950s, and then the last half will be present day. I feel like they're going to do that. Same here. Speaking of the second half gave me just American Horror Stories, like that, just the whole feel of it. It gave me that. I feel like that could have played in that part of the series, because I don't know, it just gave me that. And both two characters were from American Horror Stories. The lead, I forgot the model. What's her name?
I can't think of her name either, but yeah.
Oh.
She was in the first 2 episodes of American Horror Stories, and then the white dude that was dating the other guy, he was in the Bro House. Yeah. So.
Wait, which one? The shorter one or the
blonde dude? The blonde dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was in the Bro House one, and he was tolerable. Both the characters were tolerable in this one so far. So
yeah, they were. Cause I swear I
But
was like, why is this girl in here? Like, I
what's
was
her name?
throwing shade
Ruby.
before she even started. I really was throwing shade before she
No, me
started. But
too. I was like, I rolled my eyes so hard. I'm like, God, because she got my nerves so bad as Ruby in the Rubber Woman episode. So I'm just like,
yeah,
God, like she's on
but
here, but she was
that
alright.
goes to show that she can, you know, she probably one of those versatile actresses, you know, where she can
Yeah.
pull it off. And
Mm-hmm.
Michael White doing that.
We'll see.
Right.
He's still feeling
Michael
it.
was like, it's just the writers, it's the script. She's just going off with the paper. It's all good.
He was actually getting on my nerves a little bit this episode, but not in the same way as American Horror Stories.
Okay. What
Mhm.
y'all?
It was like,
beat me up. Oh, I'm sorry, Michael.
no, go ahead.
I was just about to say, where was Sarah Paulson in this episode? Because
She was the president's wife.
Yeah.
Oh, why I didn't tell that's her?
So like a low-key, subdued kind of. It wasn't over the top. She wasn't coughing and shit up in.
Maybe that's what it was because she tore that whole up in real time.
Because I like
to follow.
in my head, I'm bringing back the scene to when he was with the wife, and I really cannot remember in my head that was Sarah Paulson. Like, I'm going to have to go back now and look because I'm like, wait, where was she at? I keep hearing y'all mention her name, and it's like
quiet. So I can see how you missed her because she wasn't on there that long. Chad said, "Did you notice the bottle of pills spilling in the opening?" I missed that.
I did. I seen it.
Black pills.
Well,
they weren't black, I don't think.
Oh.
Well, wait, was it black and white? The opening is black and white, so we wouldn't even know if they were a color, right?
Unless it was just dark, so it'll be black. Art said, "I like all the head explosions in the 50." Me too. She was fucking them up.
Jean Grey.
Was.
Just talk to the hand.
She's like,
Ooh, maybe Jubilee.
Talk to you. I need the leader. Come here.
Right.
The head explode. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was reading that Evan said it gave me that as well. Maybe because Cindy Crawford's daughter was in it. That Cindy Crawford's daughter is the girl on there. I just forgot her name. No disrespect. No, Tad is not Paris Jackson. That is not her.
Oh, so
we know Michael Jackson's daughter.
Wait, which one was Cindy Crawford's?
The smart one who was trying every minute to show she was smart.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ruby in American Horror Stories. The one
that's her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it now that you said it. I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Yeah,
even the dark hair and everything.
Hey Corey, what's up? We are good this fine Sunday. We are good. We usually do this on Saturdays, but stuff happened, stuff came up, so we're here today. Art said because she looked old as fuck. I'm assuming that you're talking about Sarah Paulson.
Oh, okay. I thought she. Okay, all right.
Evan said Kayla Gerby.
Oh, is that Cindy Crawford?
That's her name. Yeah.
Kayla Gerber.
Everything. She's gorgeous.
Gerber.
Was she a Gerber
baby? She probably was.
She's gorgeous, though. Gorgeous.
Yeah, she's very pretty. She's a model. All right. So, all right. So the color portion of this episode, were you guys expecting what happened as far as them getting abducted, maybe, and then becoming pregnant?
First of all, that pregnant part, I don't know why I was laughing.
No, me too. Wait, you talking about at the very end when they like,
and they all was like, "Oh shit!" Like something's happening. We're all pregnant. Yes. But wait, let me just go back to the abduction scene because I like that scene. Like I'm like so infatuated with aliens, guys. So like, I don't know, like that scene just was like, ooh, like it's spooky to me when they was like, I gotta get a pamphlet with the names. I'll have that this week coming, okay? But when the black girl was like outside of the car, and then these spots was all switched and everything like that, and it was like, oh shit, like what just happened? And the girl, Cindy Crawford daughter, was like the only one that was like, we probably was abducted. Like, y'all don't
Mhm.
think nothing. Like, they just was like fine. And she's
My
like,
God.
wait, hold on. Like, something happened to us. Like, y'all don't. We switched spots in the car. She
Yeah.
outside the car. Like, what's going on? I really did like that scene. Like, that was like one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
Yeah, same here. Aliens always creep me out because even when I was a kid, like I always like when I heard the X-Files theme song, I always turned to channel because that always like creeped me out.
Yes, X-Files.
So like I was just very invested in this. It's even an episode of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix when they brought that back. I think it's Unsolved Mysteries. And there's an alien portion. And I was like into that too. I was just like, I'm really like I want to believe that this is real, but at the same time, it's just like I want to see physical proof that there's aliens.
I believe that it's real.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Even without physical proof.
Me too.
Can't nobody tell me that this universe and other universes out here and we're the only living beings here. Like, you cannot tell me that. So I don't care who argue me down. I don't care that I don't have pictures or anything. You can't tell me ain't no aliens.
I think that's our like self-absorbed brain thinking like we would be the only ones.
Yeah.
And also, I do believe that there are aliens, but they may not be what we are picturing they are.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe it's energy. Maybe it's I don't know what, but it may not
very much just be just like us, like, you know, exactly like us, but we are aliens to them because we're, you know. So it's like, shit, they probably look for us too. They like, shit, who's this?
I mean, when it comes to aliens, like I used to actually have a phobia of like aliens because of like the shit song growing up. Yeah, and like growing up in the house I did, it was deeper than just like watching movies. Like my father was like very invested in like just a little bit of background. Like, so he studied Africana when he went to college. And so a lot of the stuff, and he's obsessed with Egyptian culture. So like he has like a lot of like pictures and stuff of like you know, those times, like all in the house and stuff. But he had, you know, Ancient Aliens. He would talk to me about that stuff before that was like a show. So like this idea that there is like proof in ancient civilizations that there may actually be proof of extraterrestrials, and it would scare me. It actually did frighten me. Even stuff like the Roswell incident and Betty and Barney Hill, I grew up hearing these stories. So to me, it wasn't horror. It was like, this is real. And it always made sense to me. So I didn't like aliens for the majority of my life. I was very afraid of them. Very, very afraid of them.
How do you feel about them now?
Now, I think I could handle the idea of an alien better. But it wasn't so much that there's an alien, but the shit they be doing. Like they be taking you and then like they can wipe your memory, and so you don't know something happened to you. And I don't like that per se. Like that's where it's gone too far. I'd prefer to know what happened. I want the gritty details.
And there's anal probes as well.
I want that. I want to remember that. You know, that sounds
it's like, what if you had like a situation like you ever been like drunk one day? You know how you wake up and you don't remember nothing, but what if you didn't remember nothing because of like you was abducted on your way home? You don't know that. So it's just like, I've probably been abducted. I can't even say it. Abducted before, and don't even know it because it was a couple of nights that I just don't remember. Like, wait, how did I get home?
I mean, movies have done a great job of like making us fear aliens. I remember Fire Die, where they were like real graphic about what they would do.
Yeah.
So that movie scared the fuck out of me. Signs, even I don't know if that's scary, but the one scene in Signs where there's like the birthday party and they zoom in on the slow-mo of the alien, that gave me like chills seeing that alien walk by.
You know what alien movie really scared, even till this day, like it scares me to watch, and it's like in my brain, The Fourth Kind.
Oh,
The Fourth Kind.
With Miss Resident Evil.
And it's like, I think because movies that I don't care how much of it is supposed to be true or not. Like movies that always say, "Oh, this is based on like true." Like I think it was like Australia or was it Alaska or Australia, one of those places,
Yeah.
and it was like, you know, all of these people like really were missing. Like they don't know for sure if it was aliens, but they did have all these missing cases of these kids. Like nobody was like following up, and then it was like the one psychiatrist. Like that movie creeps me out, and it's like even if I watch it today, maybe for like the whole week, I'm like nervous because they had certain things when it was like this owl outside the window. And that was like one of the signs that like, oh, they was watching you before they abducted you. You know, like I would be like looking at my mind like, hold on.
Right.
And I don't even have no trees out there, but I'm like, wait. But that movie really scared me. Like I don't know what it is about that.
Corey says science was awesome. That birthday scene was so good. Y'all should watch this trippy German alien movie extra sometime for a stream. Okay, I never heard of that. I'm down, Corey.
I'm gonna put it in the machine, right? Extra.
Yes.
Oh, 82. That's a good time frame too. I love the 80s.
Yeah, 80s always whatever.
Do you think, like, I'm wondering if we're afraid or we have a fear of aliens because they could potentially be more advanced than us and smarter than us?
Not for me. That's not my fear. That's not the bed of my fear. But like, go ahead though. Yeah. Like, I'll get into mine. It's more complex. I hope that y'all have Venmo. I will send you money. I got some stuff.
Because I was just thinking, like movies like The Faculty or Invasion of the Body Snatch, like stuff where they infiltrate us and we don't really have any idea, and it's a frightening thought that this could happen. Although it kind of sounds like a good deal, like you don't feel fear, pain, and all that shit. I was like, sounds like a good deal to me. So I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's true. Like even like just with like the government and stuff, like it's so like that's a organization that's used to having control, and the idea of an alien that can come and wipe all your shit away is like, oh no, let's not even entertain it. When really, I mean, they probably got stuff. You know, they don't want to say nothing, but they don't want to entertain that because they gonna lose regardless. You know, like I think that's like America's fear, or maybe that could be one of the reasons why they don't want nobody to know if they do know something. You know, like I don't know, they're gonna lose control.
People won't handle it well. I don't think.
Yeah,
I feel like it's just one of those situations where like, if I go into my house and I close my door and I lock it and I have my phone like nearby, even before cell phones, I feel safe because like in worst case scenario, I can call the police or something. But with UFOs back then, you know, it's different in media depending on how you see them depicted. When they come, there's something about their technology that actually interferes with that blanket of safety because it removes the telephone, it removes the electricity. So slowly you're already isolated instantly because you can't call for help. And then when they actually come into the home, there's something about the way they move that they understand how humans work because they are more advanced. They understand us. So when they take children, it's because they've been watching you. They already know kind of like they have a general idea of how things work. So they take you and they do so in full confidence that they can do anything to you. And then once they do everything that they want, they'll let you go at their discretion and they'll wipe your mind. But then by the time that you're back, you don't remember the traumas, what your body does. So you'll have bruises or you'll have scratches or there'll be something under your skin like with Betty and Barney Hill. And that's frightening to me. Like that's very, very frightening. Like even talking about it's like, ooh. Like
I was about to say, Ryan, are you
right? I got chills thinking about coming in the home when you said
I thought about it me too. Years. It scared me. It was like a genuine phobia. And like I'm someone who has woken up with like vicious cuts on my body and bruises and stuff. Like that's happened to me. Yes. So like it's always going to marry back to that. And it always shows you don't show your kids shit like too soon. Like that shit is frightening.
Corey said, how about this? There are millions of galaxies with millions of solar systems out there. What if the aliens are just versions of us from alternate realities?
Like from the episode.
But that
would be wild.
It was a Netflix movie, remember? And they had like went out of space or something. And they had found something on a ship that was like in the ship. And it was like her. but it was from an alternate world. I like her like husband had died in real life, like in her life, but in the other person's reality, they they were still married. Like it was, I forget what that movie is called. It's on Netflix. Is
The
it Cloverfield?
Cloverfield
I
paradox,
think that's
something
what
like
it
that.
is. Yeah, something like that. And they went to outer space, and basically it was another, like universe or whatever, where everything was like, well, I don't want to say exactly the same because her husband was living on that other planet, but all the people were the same.
Mm-hmm.
They just were living different
So
realities,
it's
I
like a
guess.
alternate universe, sort
It's
of.
a multiverse.
Yeah, a
Right.
multiverse. Yeah, that's
And she was
wild.
like,
Mhm.
ain't it?
Y'all got
Yeah.
me thinking
Give you
now
something to
about a
think
whole
of. Now
bunch
gonna
of
have me
shit.
scared. I'm gonna be scared. Yes.
Right.
I'm
All
gonna
the
be scared.
episodes, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm just like, all right, talking about aliens and shit. Like,
To Ryan's point, them knowing us so well, it did make when they know us well enough to know that there would be so many people skeptical, they wouldn't even believe the people who would mention if they did happen to remember something.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it. And like,
Yes.
I'm not going to go too deep because I could one day, but it's even in the Bible. Like that dude. I was trying to Google it to see if I could remember, but I can't recall. There's something in the Bible where someone witnessed like a wheel on its side, like literally spinning. This is in the Bible. Like ancient aliens, some of it's crazy, but some of it's actually like it's accurate. Like there's ancient civilizations that talk about things that sound like extraterrestrials. Even like how we see angels depicted as like these humanoid figures with wings. That's not how they're described in the Bible. Angels are
Right.
described as these monstrosities. Like if we were to look upon it, it's more Lovecraftian. It would actually scramble your mind. So when you think about like aliens, it's very that. And see, y'all scaring me again. Goodbye.
you scaring yourself.
All right, well let's switch because I'm getting scared too. Okay.
To bring it back to the show.
But this was a good conversation. This was a great conversation though.
I have
about
a question
aliens.
though. How would you guys feel if you were in the situation as that group of friends and they all were pregnant?
I don't know.
What would be your thoughts after that? Like, all right, so the one friend is saying, like, listen, I think we got abducted. Like, ain't no way we can be, like she was the only one who thinking that because the other girl was like, But I mean, I didn't hear her bring it up to the guys. But what if it, scenario, what if it was us four and that happened? Like, what would be your thoughts after you had a positive pregnancy test and damn well
nearest
you
doctor,
can't get pregnant?
I'll go straight to the hospital.
If we were all throwing up and had the same symptoms, then I'd be like, okay, we need to get checked out.
Yeah.
Now, if you said you were pregnant, I don't know if you would logically be like, well, then I think y'all need to check this out too and take these tests. But I'd be happy I was chosen and I was pregnant by somebody.
Okay, Michael.
Okay,
all right.
But I kind of thought that's where it was going, but that situation itself, I wouldn't have handled that well. If the car ain't moving, we running. So, and then you're just sitting there while the bobblehead thing is walking to the car. And then the creepiest part of this whole episode to me is the intro, because I don't like cephalopods, like octopus and squids and shit. Like that's too much for me. So to see that later in the episode, I don't know.
Michael, I didn't know those were called cephalopods. I didn't know that until just now. Octopuses and stuff.
They might be called something else. I'm just talking. So.
I'm not they're probably called that. I'm just saying I didn't know.
Although the one that came out of the dude in the flashback, not the dude, the alien, it did kind of look like an octopus almost that jumped on the guy's face.
Mm-hmm. It did, but it didn't have nothing. It was like just a blob. Yeah.
I mean,
but if that,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just about to say that opportunity presented itself, and we were like all just mysteriously pregnant. The last thing I would want to do is go to the hospital because I feel like something ain't right. Like, what they going to end up doing to us? Like, we can be experiments now, basically. So
Come on,
they don't know
Smokey.
what's going on. So we gonna be in there.
You rather just suffer whatever's going to happen to you than actually.
No,
I mean, I
we
get what
need
you're
to go
saying.
to like we need to go to
We
the
need
government
Plan
and
B.
they need to tell us the truth about Area 51 and we need to tell them
Girl,
what's going on.
they gonna
It's
kill us.
different. The hospital ain't going no shit.
Exactly. They're really going to kill us.
We're going to just
We need
disappear.
to go to Area.
Yeah. They will erase us from this fucking earth.
I will take Plan B. Which I'm sure probably won't work.
Well, you pregnant already. You can't do Plan B. Plan B
Oh.
is before you get pregnant.
That's how ignorant I am. See now.
So if it was me, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm gonna have the baby. Okay, whatever. Again, this is gonna pay me handsomely. But then after that, I'm gonna have an IUD because my body is for me. Like I didn't sign up for this.
An
But
extraterrestrial.
what if the aliens can get past the IUD?
Well, then they wanted it more. I guess I'm just about to. I'm about to turn into a rabbit and send them out for the aliens because I don't know. It's like that's really the reason I said have the baby. To be honest with you, Chanise, is like if I piss on a stick and it says I'm pregnant, I'm not going to take it serious. I'm going to think like this is a problem. Like it was a defect.
Okay.
If I piss on stick after stick after stick, and I'm getting bigger. I drink beers and eat buffalo wings and brownies a la mode on like a semi-daily basis.
Yes.
Me looking at my third trimester is normality for me. So like I'm not gonna assume that like a baby's about to come up out my where's it about to come up out of?
Yeah, where's it come? Coming up the ass.
Holy shit. I'm gonna be like those girls on that one show that y'all told me about, like, oh, I didn't know I was pregnant or whatever. I'm gonna be like her. I'm gonna be like, oh,
generation.
I was pregnant.
Yeah.
On the toilet and the baby pop out.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
And then I'm gonna hit Guinness.
Damn.
There was actually an episode of I forgot what was it the mortuary collection when the dude was like pregnant and he gave birth and it came out his penis?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
And they showed it. They showed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I was just like, what the fuck?
So I watched
so do y'all
Cephalopod.
Go ahead. I don't know.
There's a show somebody suggested called Room 104, and it has an episode, like, well, spoiler alert, but it has an episode where there's a dude, he's in a hotel. The whole show is everybody comes to this one room. And so this episode, this dude, he's been having like crazy symptoms ever since he was a kid. And so you kind of think he might be a little nuts. He might have a skin condition, and the doctor told him to come to the hotel room. So he's calling later in the episode, and it's getting worse. The condition's getting worse, right? And so later in the episode, his doctor shows up after his mother tells him, oh yeah, there was a time you disappeared when we went out in the wilderness around the time they were saying there were like alien sightings. We all decided to go out there because that's the thing to do in the 80s. And so the doctor ends up being the alien that attacked him when he was a kid, and he's just been observing him for decades. And his whole body fucking exploded, and he just took the babies out at the end of the episode. It might not come out the dick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I'm sorry.
If I think.
But can I say something on that, Michael? To be honest, like when we're in the womb at a certain point, I don't know how like far along this changes. We're all the same gender, and then like as time goes on, as you start to develop more, that's when you start to split and become one or the other. And then sometimes people are born who are intersex, where like there's like a cross. But it's interesting that there's something in technology that can revert you back to having a womb to bust clean open. It doesn't seem realistic, but it's frightening to think about because where is it going to come from? I think that's why, honestly, I would think like if I piss on a stick, I'm not going to think that I'm actually pregnant. It's a mistake.
Right.
So, do you guys think something like that is going to happen on this episode? Because if these men get bigger and bigger, how's it going to come out? Do you think the aliens are going to abduct them again and like do a C-section type of deal?
No, I think it's going to bust out the stomach. I honestly think like the whole agenda is for them to build an army, because why they getting all these people pregnant at the same time
and not killing?
So like they probably doing that to build an army, and it's probably just going to bust out the stomach, honestly. Unless Ryan Murphy and them want to get spicy and have it come out the penis. That'd be interesting to see. Maybe not for y'all, but for me.
We seen it. Mortuary Collection
Yeah,
movie.
Mortuary.
It had,
See, I've never seen
yeah.
it.
Well,
So we'll have to
they
watch
showed
it.
it.
I'm a look.
So it's
What
painful,
episode
very
was that?
painful.
I think that was the craziest part of that movie.
Yeah, it was.
There was, so when they opened up the alien in the beginning ish of the episode, hey, what's up? They were saying it was basically hollow inside, no organs, nothing, and then that thing jumped out. So part of me is wondering if the outer layer is just like a kind of a host in a way, or a suit of some sort, and it's being controlled by them inside. So maybe them being pregnant, I don't know if it'll make them be a host of something, because there's something going on, because they keep mentioning technology the whole episode.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm thinking the aliens have been around this whole time and they've struck some deal with the government.
Right.
They're the reason we have all the technology we have now.
But that's what they think about Roswell already. That after the crash happened, there was a boom that, like, in Beyond American Horror Story, like there was a boom that happened that impacted our technology. And even a lot of this is Roswell, the whole episode, because even the idea of like they open it up and it's gray or whatever, it's like nothing inside. It's generally believed by like theorists of like alien. I'm going back to my childhood. Like they're reptilian creatures. Like they come from like a star system, like probably Sirius A and Sirius B, where there's no oxygen. So they don't look like humanoids. So what they do is they wear these suits, and that's what we're familiar with, like these gray suits with the black eyes and all that stuff. It's a suit. It's not actually what they look like. And the depiction of what they actually look like has changed a bunch of times. Like if you look at like Roswell or Betty and Barney Hill, like it's always constantly changing. But it's generally believed that that's not what they actually look like. They look like something else. And
it's funny because when you said that, like that's like pretty much the suit. Even in Independence Day, like those aliens, when they opened them up, you actually seen the other aliens inside of that. So you think that exterior is the alien, but when they open them up, it's like the actual what they look like is inside of that. So wow,
it's what they need to breathe.
Right.
Do you guys think the chemist is going to show up as the chemist?
I hope so.
I'm hoping so too.
Because they mentioned her name in the opening title, the opening credits. I think I've seen.
What is her name?
Like, Angelica? Is it Angelica?
The actress name. I thought the cat, because I was like, they kept
she don't never say. She just say the chemist.
That makes me think she might be a part of this, because they
that's
didn't
what I'm saying.
name.
And you know how in there she said she worked for the government.
He did say that. I forgot that. Yeah.
So,
and she would have the technology.
So maybe she's going to show up. Maybe she'll show up during this, like the present day portion with these kids and stuff. I don't know how she's going to go in. Yeah. Also,
no, not Alma.
Oh no,
God, please.
We're done with her.
If you bring
we're done with Alma.
That part, just not her or Ursula. They can go ahead and stay in LA and do whatever it is they doing.
You said stay in LA, yeah.
But
we are done with Alma.
I'm so curious because when she said like, all right, like let's go, let's have a new start, and possibly make a pill that can have us everlasting, or so where does she want to go back to the government to kind of get the resources to construct this new pill that she wants to, and end up falling into the whole alien thing?
Yeah.
Right.
That would make a lot of sense. And it also follows because if what we're kind of talking about, like it seems like it impacted technology. Like obviously the government wouldn't care about the bodies. They wouldn't care. But she could maybe, I don't know, use what was found in the bodies to make what ended up in the pills or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they'll probably get her to try to figure out what's going on because she is a chemist. Like she'll know, like, okay, well, what is this? Like, I don't know, slime that's on this, or this that's coming out of this vagina after they done got mysteriously pregnant or impregnated, or whatever the case. It would be awesome for them to throw that in there.
I'd love that.
The professor, do we think he has something's up with him?
Which
the one
professor?
that like technology?
Oh, the Luddite dude.
Because when she brought it up to him, he seemed he was dismissive, which was what dudes do. But he was trying to like downplay everything.
He was, but that could be one of the reasons why he don't do the whole technology, because he know that they interfere with it. You know what I mean? So he probably is a part of that, and he just like, you know, he don't use the technology because he know that's not you know. Could be.
Because I'm wondering why show him later in the episode if he's not important at all.
Yeah, he has to be significant in some way, like for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Marshall, and what's the name, having sex when they were talking about their stories, but everybody else they were talking about the story, you never seen from their like point of view of what happened. But when she was talking about her part and meeting the professor, you actually see them doing something. So maybe he do tie into all of this somehow.
Yeah. And think about how high the stakes were when they were transitioning, because like when they transitioned between the black and white and the modern, the stakes were high because whatever this extraterrestrial thing was, it was saying to Dwight, like, or the president, whatever, you know, no, you're going to listen to me. And clearly this entity, it was like in a place of control.
Right.
So how do we switch into the modern day? Almost how many years would that be later? Like what? Like,
it was the 50s and that, so 70.
Wow.
Yeah, like that would insinuate that something of that power actually succeeded in taking over, I guess.
So,
and the reality that we're seeing in the future is a result of that, with all this technology as it is and all these things that we're talking about, like the chemists. So maybe it did take over and we're living in a reality where the aliens won. They won at 54, I think the year was.
Right. And we just don't know.
Yeah.
Because our memory could have been wiped or whatever the case.
I mean, they have to wipe our memory? Like with these phones? Like we're serotonin and endorphin junkies. Like the way that we forget shit, it's normal. It's like we move on to the next thing instantly. Like make this more profound, and girl, you can literally take over in front of all of us, and a lot of us wouldn't even recognize. How can we develop a militia when we're all in our phones?
Ted said they show her with one normal eye and one alien eye in the preview in the lab coat.
I'm guessing the lady who wanted to take over.
Oh,
I gotta get names.
Yeah, same here.
So what do we think they? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was wondering, what do we think they were basically saying? We want to have our people in power here. Like, do we think the presidents from that point on were all aliens? Do we think everyone who's had some technological success was an alien, not necessarily human, from the 50s up until now?
That's a good question. I mean, it would probably be something like, we're either going to go forward together in this, or your whole race is going to be eradicated.
Right. So, that's what she sounded like. Yeah. She was saying. But I always go back to Prometheus. Because I feel like, you know how it was just kind of like, all right, they created us.
Yep.
But, you know, obviously we were a piece of shit, or we weren't what they planned out for us to be. So they created something to kill us. Yeah. But it killed them in return. So like, what if they want to come down and like, you know, just kind of change shit that happened from the first time they was there? So like in the 50s, they done created something when they came and took over, but it did not work out after all these 70 years. So they came back to kind of like get shit in order. You know, like, I don't know.
Try again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's juicy, Chanise.
That makes me about the professor again.
It makes me wonder because, like, I think, like, okay, theoretically speaking, let's say that this advanced race, right, is so much more advanced than us. It's a time game, right? It would mean that they are our predecessors. And if it's by a few million years, it would make sense that whatever environment they're coming from has already went through a lot of the curses that we're putting on ourselves. So they've destroyed themselves. Is destroyed because of the shit that they've done. And this is like a time and a resource game. The shit that they want from us is more resource based. They're looking at Earth as like a viable second option. Maybe they could be looking at Earth as something that they can get from us because with that time and that resource game, they've depleted their resources. They fucked their shit up. And maybe they've made the best of what they have, but they can't discredit the nubile like shit that Earth is on. We still have our water, though we're killing ourselves. We still have our Earth. We still have our resources. Those things are still plentiful because in the grand scheme of the cosmos, we're still very, very young.
Right.
We're so young that we treat our ocean like we do space. They're not dissimilar. That's why, like, I mean, think about it. We still haven't seen the entire ocean. Like,
that's true.
That scares
ocean
me.
is still,
And I don't want to.
like, I don't want to either, and I don't want to see all of space. And it's the predominant of our planet. I think our planet's like 70% water, and we still don't know all of that. Like, I'm just saying.
Chicken and stuff that
so the professor, he was mentioning how we've advanced rather quickly since the 50s. And it makes, maybe they're not necessarily the bad guys. Maybe they're preparing us for something. Maybe they want to give us technology to prepare us for something in the future. Because I'm also in my head thinking, what can they do in 3 episodes that'll make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what scares me.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's like I got all these high hopes now after seeing the first episode and liking it. And it being something that I'm interested in, now I'm like tuned in. So it scares me that they only got 3 episodes left. They already ain't that good with ending stuff, you know? So it's like, how, like, I'm hoping that they don't mess it, like, you know, hoping that they don't mess this up and they give us something with, you know, the chemist being in there or, you know, like whatever the kid, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you guys think, all right, so I feel like this is obviously a perfect opportunity to bring in the events that happen in Asylum. Do you think the 2 kids in Asylum is going to pop up in this season that was half alien? Because we just seen them walk off with, who they walked off with? Jessica Lange character, I guess, Sister Jude, because she grew old and she got tied in with that family and stuff. But they're half alien and we never revisit them again. So do you think they're going to somehow pop up?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, it would be nice if they did because we've been waiting for that like ending to be complete. I feel like because the whole alien thing was kind of like they gave us that one snippet in the beginning when it happened of Asylum, and then at the end, like they didn't give us no in between story. They didn't give us nothing. They just the aliens came, then the aliens, you know, like took the lady.
The only thing that happened in between,
and they took Evan.
The only thing that happened in between is when they took that girl, impregnated her and Evan Peters' girlfriend, and they both delivered those babies or whatever. So it's like they somehow brought them back to life and impregnated them.
Yeah,
which was really
but it's
interesting.
just like
So
we don't have no backstory on it. We don't have no type of story surrounding it. It was just like such a random thing. And because aliens too, a lot of people are, you know, like a lot of people are interested in that topic.
Yeah.
You know, so now got all of us thinking like, well, what? Like, you know, like what? Like that was just the most random thing that they could have put in the Asylum season. Like, I don't know. To me, it just is so random. But I'm interested. Like, even till now, and then that was the 2nd season. I'm like, well, damn, whatever happened. Like, I'll still just be thinking, like, damn, whatever happened with them and the aliens, you know?
I felt the same way. Like, I always wondered. And I think, you know what's funny? Now that they're, like, so brazenly in our face, I can make, you know, anyone pregnant, even men, and they'll be the offsprings of aliens. What is virgin to us as the viewer is normal to this universe. So maybe they're trying to insinuate that this shit's been going on the whole time. You know, like I wonder.
Because what year was Asylum in?
Like
I don't
50,
know. I can check real quick.
It was either in the 50s or 60s. I think it was in the.
I was about to say, does that make it around the same time as
all this?
Yeah, like
That's a good question. Hold on, I'm
Google.
Yeah, you know me, Bobby. Look, I'm over here. Spider fingers, baby. All right. Let me see. It says it was set in 1964. So
64.
that's a good catch, because wouldn't that
Yeah.
mean like the offspring would be what, like
9-ish, maybe 10.
9 or 10, like
Yeah.
Tommy's age.
But how far did they go in that, like when he flashed forward in that last episode of Asylum?
Let's
Like,
see.
did they? Yeah,
Because they were
it
older.
depends. Yeah, they were older.
How much older were they? Were they teenagers?
No,
I
they
think
were
they
like
were older than teenagers, because that's when Evan Peters was old. He was in the wheelchair and stuff.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah, but they were still small though. So maybe they were teenagers and then they just grew like very like.
I mean, and I feel like you can't get too literal on age when it comes to aliens, because
Well, yeah.
I mean, how would you know?
Oh.
You know, it's like, do they really even have an age? Are they growing at the speed of a
Right.
human being, or do they have like their own rate that they grow? So we don't even know. Like, they could have been 17 and still was.
You're right.
They're
Because
small.
when Amelia Earhart came out of the thing, didn't they say she was gone for like 17 years?
Yeah, and she
Wow.
didn't age at all. They
Yeah.
was like,
She
you know,
disappeared in the 30s, and this was 1954.
Yeah.
Mm.
And she didn't.
Yeah.
I guess she didn't feel like any time had passed when she showed up.
right.
She was like, "This, you are not Americans or whatever."
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she was still looking for the president. She was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
well, you ain't who I'm, you ain't the president. So it's like,
Right.
maybe they don't have no age,
Okay.
no aging
Yeah.
process, really.
Cool.
How long did
The process is really slow. Well, there's more theories, so I don't care. I'm hoping that these kids show up, or somehow it's going to have to tie into Asylum. They're not going to
Listen,
just give us that shit and
I'm
then
kind of
like
more hopeful that the chemist will. I'm going to let Asylum go, because I really want them to make the chemist come in here some type of way, and I know that they ain't about to do both with 4 episodes.
Why say that? Like they only
why
gonna
not?
like blue or red
Why
pill?
not?
You giving up, yeah, because they be biting off much more than they can chew. Okay,
Right.
so I'm gonna need them to focus on one so they can get the story right.
Amen. Toast to that.
Yeah, so they gotta get the story right. So
Mhm.
I mean, either they have them kids come back and we have that, or the chemists come. Like, it gotta be one or the other, especially because we only got 3 episodes left. And how do we know? Like, are they going to give us an extra half hour? Like, like, are they going to?
I would think it'd be the chemist, if anything, because they'd have to do a lot of backstory,
Right?
if they introduce the other
Yeah.
side.
Me too.
Where if it's the chemist, we kind of already know what's going on, but it would explain a lot.
Right, and they wouldn't have to go back. If it was the chemist, they wouldn't even have to really explain much of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh, that's true, because it literally just happened. Versus, so to that point, I guess the writers' room was probably figuring, who are we going to cater to? Are we going to give it to the Asylum girls who are like the devout horror fans, or like is it going to be the people who have been watching the season? And the smart move, money wise, is the girls who've been watching double.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think everybody, even when Ryan Murphy put up that poll about aliens and sirens and stuff, a lot of people did say aliens because there were questions in Asylum.
Yeah.
So why give us aliens and then not still go back to Asylum or anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
After seeing that it's a double feature, though, in the way that it will line up, I just feel like Asylum would not fit. It wouldn't fit in. Like, that alien storyline from Asylum wouldn't even fit in with this. Like, as much as we all would want it to, it just wouldn't fit in. So when they did
and if
aliens,
they do it, it's probably gonna be really quick.
I don't think that they had that in mind, honestly. I honestly don't think that they be giving 2 shits about what we want, really. So it could very much be a gimmick, like, oh, we're gonna get aliens, it's gonna come from Asylum, but it turned out to be something different. Getting us hyped up for it just to give us something that we didn't expect. Like an element of surprise or something like that. Like, I don't know.
But isn't that brilliant, right? Like, I'm gonna tell you guys aliens because I know the Asylum girls are gonna come back. So I got their clue. and then I'm going to do Aliens for the people who are here for the first time, and they're going to get a good show, and I'm going to get everybody's coin, even if I don't touch the asylum. That's brutal. But we know, like you said, Chanise, they don't give a fuck what we want, because I still believe Game Over that's what that whole episode was from American Horror Stories. The last episode, it was them telling us they don't give a fuck what we want. That's what that whole episode was.
Yeah,
it was like, we're watching you. We see the numbers and the metrics, and fuck all that shit. We're gonna do what the fuck we want. That's
exactly. Definitely. But that's why they're losing a lot of people. There's so many people that will say they will only watch one episode or 2 episodes and then just say fuck American Horror Story. Right. Like, I don't care. There's people that they probably stop watching after Asylum or even Murder House for that matter. Like, some people just like, nah, like, I lose interest because they keep.
But like I said, this season though, they started off pretty strong with each episode for each part. So I think that the issues with before when people are watching just like the first 2 episodes is because if you think about it, it starts off slow. Yeah. Usually the seasons start off really slow. Like this one has started off strong on both parts. So, you know, like people can actually get into this and like, oh wait, hold up, I'm intrigued. Whereas before it's like, all right, you're giving me this whole boring storyline, and then you know you gotta wait until the next episode for something to happen. Yeah. Whereas with what was the Red Tide, stuff started happening like
every episode. You
know? So it was just like I can see people keeping up with this season versus the previous ones.
You got heads exploding within 5 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the stuff you want to see. Like, it's like they start off like, that's why I'm just so disappointed in the finale from the first part, is because they started off so strong. They kept that, you know, like they kept the whole vibe. Like the whole vibe was just like so decent. Like
it literally was like this, so and then that last episode was just like this. Just
like they just went like, shoo.
Bobby started like literally at the top of like where the camera is.
That episode 1.
That last episode
1.2 or some shit.
Yes, because that's what they did. Like they really did that, and it's just like, why start off strong to end it on some BS? But maybe there wasn't a real ending. Maybe the chemist is gonna stroll up in here, and the ending is gonna be this ending. Like that could be it too, you know. Like even though that was the end of Red Tide, and because it's a double feature, it's probably not the ending of all. If that makes sense, like I don't.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was my theory all along. I still think like by the end of the season this part is going to go back to Red Tide in some way with the chemist or whatever. Like it has to, and if it doesn't, then I don't know. Like again, I'm not expecting much from these last episodes. Like if it declines, then it is what it is. Like
you might have because it's not supernatural what we're dealing with. It's not actual vampires. It's like experimentation. So it very well could be that.
It's the first time that like in a season for American Horror Story, I'm actually genuinely curious about what's going to happen because for all of us who have been there since the beginning, which is literally all of us, American Horror Story has a bad reputation for starting decent and then not being able to land the plane. That's a known thing. There's been enough seasons where this isn't us being, you know, cynical. This is like well known. Like it starts up here and then it just kind of, and it happens before the ending. It happens like around the middle. Sometimes there's like a saggy middle, as it were, and then it just starts.
It goes like this.
Yeah.
Like you get that little tease like it's getting good again, and then no.
Right. Every season, like even like I think Circus, like Circus is a great example of this. I was so excited for Circus, and it did start up here. It really did, and then it just started to, especially when everything happened with Twisty. It was just like
they killed my man. When they killed my man, it was done. Like he was Twisty. It for me in that season. I'm not gonna get into it because y'all know that season.
We talk about it all the time.
Every time somebody mentions it, like I got like PTSD with Circus freak show. It's just like
I have a question
for our ratings at the end.
Did y'all notice a tornado in the beginning? Was the alien in a tornado?
It was like 3 of them.
Affect our weather as well.
So what I think about that, I could be whatever, but like when you think about that side of the globe or whatever, they have like, I can't remember what they're called. They're like
sandstorms. Is it that?
Thank you. Like sandstorms. So they're trying to think of an excuse, like where if it did break down across history, what would people maybe have called it? Oh, there were sandstorms. There was a terrible sandstorm. And I appreciate that. I think that was kind of cute, because when I think about tractor beams, like, I mean, a tractor beam is a tractor beam. If I'm riding my trikey through the DMV and a light hits me, like, the girl's gonna call that a tractor beam. Like, it is what it is. But if you try to make it like it could possibly be like a sandstorm or something, that actually is regional. That makes sense. That could break down from 54 to 2021. The girls could have called it one thing when it was really the girls getting taken by extraterrestrial forces and probe beyond recognition, and then having the Men in Black man wipe your memory as you're heading back down to Earth. So.
Not the Men in Black men.
Right. I wish I had access to that technology, because there's some stuff I need to get.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
100%. Yes.
But
oh man. And Beth Pearson, the black girl.
Yeah. Irritating. Sorry, go ahead.
She was irritating.
Sorry.
But in the beginning, she was all heartbroken over the dude who nutted on her, and his nut.
What was that about?
So I was like, is that what an alien can do? Or is she an alien? And it's something about seeming.
Or maybe she's one of the kids from Asylum, and she I just wanted to connect to that season so bad. I'm sorry.
Not gonna let this go.
I'm not gonna let it go until we get it.
Baby boy, give it up.
How she look at God snatching my throat, because I'm about this bullshit. How she allergic to semen? Well, and then aliens bust all inside of her, and she ain't had no allergic reaction.
Well, see, my thing is,
they shot the club up.
So my theory is that the aliens didn't like they probably injected something inside.
With a turkey baster, like from that one.
Yeah, like one of their little probes or whatever. But the other girl was saying that she had like hyper something skin, where her skin was sensitive to it. Yeah, and she was like, it's a rare thing, but it can happen. Y'all didn't hear her say that?
No,
I heard that's what was annoying me about her character, because she had an explanation for everything. Like, bitch, just listen and shut up.
Right. She said that though, when like the guys was looking like she was on like explaining like, no, it's called such and such, such and such. It can happen. I'm like, okay. But it made me think of what's her name from Coven? When she couldn't have sex because she was going to kill her.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, ooh, is it another one of them out there? They got a killer. Instead of a killer pussy, it's a killer penis.
I mean, that would be interesting though, to be honest, because something in that feels like the Rogue storyline, like from back in the day, and something about the Rogue storyline always feels it's interesting to me, to be honest.
Well, I can't wait to see this week because I'm intrigued.
The Midas touch.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I don't care what y'all say. My theory is going to come true.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
And one of them people are aliens. The one with the black hair is her brother. And the black girl is an alien. They're both siblings, and they're playing it off like they're one of them, but they're actually aliens. Watch.
She was the only one who was outside the car and wandering into the road.
The other one, she never got out. She didn't remember. She was like, I didn't get out. Because they was like, why did you get out the car? And she's like, I didn't.
She's playing it off because she's an alien. All right, let me stop. I'm sorry.
To be fair, the only reason she irritated me, just to be fair, is when she started being upset about the story she was about to tell them. Like, I actually was, like, oh, I wonder what happened to her. Like,
me too.
And so then as the story came out, I'm like,
are you?
It didn't feel like And for them to console her, y'all are feeding this. I need you not to respond to it because she's going to keep doing it.
And then they did show her a little quick clip crying at the little campgrounds. Like,
Yeah.
Like, shut up. And
Why
like,
y'all going against my girl?
Like,
I actually liked her.
really? Well,
Yes.
first of all,
and Ryan, she gave me some Pisces energy. So I mean, she broke down, start crying real quick at that table.
I wanted her to listen to what you call them. Like, it was bothering me that she was not getting with the whole alien thing.
Bobby, who's your friend? I have been feeling a little teary today, so that does make sense. I don't know what it is,
but you always have that one person in the group that don't believe in anything. Everybody else is like, but it's just like it's always that one person that's not going to believe in like, all right, fuck aliens. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. And the thing is that all her like the facts were there. Like, sis, like you don't remember what happened to us. Like, you don't think that's weird? Like, it's weird.
Chanise, because she's an alien and she's acting like she is like whatever. Like, I'm oblivious to everything. I mean, but she's an alien.
But the thing was choking her up in the car with everybody else.
Yeah, it did grab her out.
I don't remember.
You have to play along.
Like, the tentacle was around her neck.
But was she enjoying the
No.
tentacle?
She was not.
You don't remember, Brian? It was like she was like by the window and it was like about to fucking pull her out. And
I feel like she looked like she was in ecstasy. I feel like that's what I saw.
You did?
She was like, ooh, like.
Wait a second, because ecstasy looks like two different things for me and you.
And then she went home and made the black pill because she's the chemist. Okay, I'm just trying it now. We both know that.
Or let me stop because I was about to go in with the chemist too.
And why were they in different seats?
No, because the aliens were sloppy. I guess they just threw them in.
They just threw them. But he was like, "Wait, how do we end up in different seats? I don't give a fuck. I'm drunk."
Yeah, he didn't give a fuck about his religion at that point. He was like, He immediately just put his seatbelt on and started driving.
Yeah.
As he should have. Yes.
He was like, fuck this. I just want to go home.
Honestly, I agree with that. Like, that would have been my reaction. That was a realistic reaction. Like, it's scary, but we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
We'll worry about it later.
Yeah.
Well, first of all,
fuck my religion at this point. I just want to go.
Because I was about to say they should have left after the cows, but they did.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very realistic too. Because usually in horror films, they would have stayed. Or they would have went and tried to check some more stuff out. Like, I feel like that was real reality.
Well, they did. Old girl went over there and ran over to the fucking cows and like touching it into the eye. Like,
I didn't buy
that's
that.
when she ran. I wouldn't even went over there to touch the cows. Once I seen that shit from a distance, where the hell out? So
and she took her bare hands and she said she's in medical school, right?
She probably got Lyme.
Yeah. Oh my god. So that's how we time red tie.
Yo, I'm have to sneak back in somehow because they made it a big deal in that first part. So,
and then it went nowhere. I'm thinking Lime is really.
I was really waiting for the Lime to come in here, but y'all, I gotta go. So this is gonna be the ending for me.
Okay, Chanise.
Thanks for coming,
been fun.
Chanise.
Love you guys. See y'all on next week.
Right.
Are we doing Saturday or?
Yeah, Saturday should be cool.
Okay.
Hopefully.
See y'all.
All right, bye.
All right, see you.
But like, ooh, that's Zoom. We back this thing up a little bit.
Like, whoosh. No,
it was
no. Just fix it. There we go.
Let me go get my patty bag real quick. The thing, how she leave on like a really good laugh though? Because now I forgot what we were talking about. Because she literally cracked me up, and then I can't remember now.
What were we talking
about? Lyme.
Oh,
we remember. About the cows and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. So they can. What would you say? So I'm assuming they were investigating the inside of the cows.
Yeah.
But somehow
they were sliced.
Yeah, they were just sliced in half. No blood, like almost drained of blood. No blood in the grass, nothing, which is strange. Also, I didn't
even say it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be anything at this point. I have no idea. I have no idea. Aliens can be anything.
Yeah. I mean, no, if aliens do exist, I mean,
True that.
There are predecessors, so it don't matter. Like, they're definitely more advanced than us because they've mastered getting here. We haven't mastered getting there. So,
true.
I mean, if it exists, there's a storyline there.
Yeah,
it's funny that you texted me about like the friend zone earlier that you was listening to one of the episodes because it was maybe like a year or so ago. Fran and them were talking about aliens, and she said she was the only one in the podcast that was saying that she would happily accept the aliens if they were to come down and kind of like she
like
said I was
on Independence Day holding up the sign.
and they got her ass out of here.
What is her sign, Bobby? Is she a water sign too, like me? Fran.
She's a Taurus, baby. Asante is a Pisces. He's the same sign as you, and then I think Dustin's an Aries, which makes total sense. Total fire sign. So he's spicy.
Whatever that means.
Oh, spicy. He's very spicy, but he's so fucking funny. I love him. But Taurus is very. I said Taurus, but Fran is very much Taurus. She's very into like earthy shit. It just. You'll when you hear her, you just definitely know.
I think as I'm listening, I mean, one thing that I got vibes off of her that was like, wow. I like all of them. They're really fun. We'll talk after. This is not the place.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say. I'll tell you.
Listen to Friend Zone, y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Before we go, I wish I got Chanise rating before she left, but before we go, what's you guys rating of this episode out of a 5?
Like a 3 for me. I would say like a 3. Like, it wasn't, to be honest with you, I'm just gonna, keep it a buck. I wasn't really a fan of this episode at first. But as we talked about it, it made me realize a love that I have for it, because talking about it with you guys made it a lot more fun. It showed that there was actually something to talk about, and it has a lot of promise. They left more questions than answers, which I think is good for horror in general. You shouldn't just answer everything in the first episode. So it motivated it. I think it's like a 3, and I'm genuinely interested to see what happens next week.
Me too. So. Michael.
I would agree with a 3. It gave me enough, but not too much.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, to me, the flashback to the 50s is what I would like them to focus on. And then just sprinkle in the modern day shit. I don't need to see them for 20 minutes every week. But
well,
I'd like to get the back.
Right. We're pregnant.
I would accept it openly. I would get that child support. And I would give it a 3. I'm hopeful. I do like aliens, so I'm kind of can give a leeway if something isn't the best when it comes to that. A 3.
Well, I'm with y'all. I give it a 3 as well. For everything you guys said, it was okay. It was fine. But it was still interesting enough to have me like watch it at least every week. What's going on, even the second part, because I want to know how if these guys are pregnant, especially the men. Like, I wonder how this process is going to go and how they're going to go about it. So I really want to know what's going to go on with that part at least. And I don't care what y'all say. And Chanise keeps saying, "Let it go." That girl, she's an alien. If she's not an alien, the chemist is an alien. Somebody's a fucking alien, and you're lying. So
whose idea was it to go out in the first place?
That's my theory, right? I'm sticking with it.
I have a theory, but I'll share it for after. I have a theory, but I'll tell you after.
Why?
It's good.
Why not now?
It's good. Because
okay.
You want to hear it? You know I can talk, Bobby. Do you really want me to start? Do you really want me to start? I trust you.
How about can you, I guess, make it, just give us a small version of it?
Sure. No.
Okay.
Okay, I'll wait. Maybe next week. I'll give you a sample, and you let me know if it's appropriate for next week. Is that a good?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
What do we think about the gay character?
Oh, can I
Oh,
start?
we didn't even talk about that. Yeah, go ahead. Ryan wasn't a fan.
I was not. I was offended. I mean, only because, like, well, first of all, the actor that played him was very cute. Like, he's a very handsome man. Like, I was very
Oh,
into
yeah.
him, observant. And funny fact, he has Jamie's exact name, Jamie Howard, which was
Oh, yeah.
because I noticed when the title card came up, I was like, that is really interesting.
Mhm.
But I personally, I kind of feel like with the depiction, I'm trying to be careful how I say this. I'm a little tired of like gay men being depicted as like these
Sexual,
drug addicted,
yeah,
yeah,
not promiscuous, but very like, I don't know.
whatever
I woke up with my best friend's dick in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Because
We're not like that.
yeah, we're not. I mean, oh,
Well, never mind. Speak for yourself,
I'm
I guess.
trying to say, child, I told myself. The problem is this. I'm over it. Okay. Look, Bobby, please take over.
No, I'm with you. I'm over it. I will say it's a little bit more tame than what we got in American Horror Stories and like some other stuff. But at the same time, I do agree with you of how gay men's always depicted. Like every time we do see, like when I see these characters, I'm like, oh, we got queer characters in here. Like, cool. Why can't they just be gay? Maybe just love on each other a little bit. That's cool. Like it don't always have to be aggressive and like talking about their sexual like I guess I don't know. I mean, granted, they're young, so maybe that's just how they feel.
Yeah.
These are young characters.
In college.
Sure.
Yeah.
I did not think he did drugs when he came out of the bathroom. He was wiping his mouth like he just finished him off in the bathroom.
Right. But was it necessary? Like, I feel like I love the character, so like they could have omitted the drug part, and I would have been okay.
Right.
I ain't doing no coke.
Nobody can just not. I don't know. They just can't be gay. It always got to be like, oh, these characters are gay, so we're gonna make sure they're gay. So we're gonna talk about them getting, you know, a dick in their mouth and talking about like cum and just it's just like we're like they don't do that with straight characters when it comes to a lot of stuff. So why do that with us? You know,
it's. I mean, I guess that's Ryan Murphy's style. I mean, notice how when Cindy Crawford's daughter mentioned it, they just showed the scene. They didn't get into her explicitly talking about it. Now, if you're gonna show me a little something, I'll take that over you just having them talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why going back, I think that Professor do have something like he has to do something with the aliens. Because why again when they tell all their stories, that's the only story that we actually see like visually. Everybody else was just told their shit. So
and whose idea was it for them to go to that campsite? Because I don't know what the fuck that was.
I think it was
the old boy from Bro House?
If it is,
no, it was all girls' idea because remember the professor is a Luddite, and then like he kind of got her into the idea of
not using technology.
Yeah,
but were they already planning going on there? Were they already planning on going on the trip? Because I think it was her. I think it was her idea of not using technology.
Yeah, you're right. It was someone else's idea to like do this trip, and then she was like, "We should also leave our phones."
Yeah, and then that's when she got into her whole like Luddite situation.
Yeah,
so,
would y'all do that? Like if you were with let's say your closest friends, so just to add context to it, would you consider leaving your phone at home?
No. I'll do it for a day, maybe a day. But as an adult, being as though that we have responsibilities now, some people got kids and stuff, it's kind of hard to do that. I mean, I don't have any kids and stuff, but like, I don't know. I think I probably can do it for a day, but after that, probably not. I can't do the whole weekend.
It's dangerous.
It is very. I would leave it in the car. At least I'm taking the phone. There ain't no way I'm not taking the phone. We can leave it in the car and still just not touch them.
Yeah. Like at least have it accessible just in case of emergencies.
But these are also kids, college age, so they're not really thinking about what could happen to them. So Maybe
I feel like me and my friends have done it before. Like, it's a version of it where, and I know y'all have probably played this game before. You all put your phones in the middle of the table.
Dinner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, Michael, you know about this too. Like, and the last person you put your phones in the middle of the table. Everyone don't touch their phones, and the first person to grab for their phone has to pay for everyone's dinner.
Pay for everybody's stuff, yeah.
Oh, I have heard of that. Yeah.
It's fun.
I have not participated.
It is.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It's good. It's good because to be honest, like people are like obsessed with their phones. Like I had like a situation once where, and I'm not going to talk too long because child. Like we were supposed to like watch a movie together, and it was everyone was on their phones. So much so to the point that it was over, and I wanted to talk about the film. They couldn't. It didn't exist because everyone was like, "What happened? I missed that part. I missed that part."
That makes me crazy.
Me
not
too.
ask me to watch a movie with you, and you are on
your phone.
Don't
And
do
what
that.
bothers me the most, going slightly off topic, well, it's still kind of on topic, when people say, "Oh, a movie is corny" or "it sucked," but the whole time they're on their fucking phone, but they're sitting here judging the movie, saying how bad it is, and I'm just like, you were on your phone maybe 95% of the time watching this movie,
and they'll use that as an excuse they were on their phone. Well, it was bad, so that's why I was on my phone.
Right? No, you just wanted to be on your phone, and you wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, and it's disrespectful because like the phone will be there like once we all get in our cars and go home. Like, can we just enjoy each other real quick?
I mean, there's something to that, just taking a little break.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours. Admittedly, where was I at today? It's instinctually, I'm just taking my phone out now and I'm scrolling and looking to see, like, if I have nothing else to do. Like at the airport, scrolling.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a part of me. That's basically what's happened. So I'd have to consciously like make an effort to not use it.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. All right, guys. We talked about this was a great conversation. Talking about aliens and just it was really, really good. I know a lot of people dipped out because we probably went a little too deep, but guess what? It doesn't matter. Y'all mad. Y'all be back Saturday. But no, this was a great conversation, and I'm curious and excited to know what's going to happen on the next episode of American Horror Story Death Valley. Again, theory, that girl's an alien. So that's how I'm leaving it off.
Won't be surprised.
All right, y'all. Do y'all want to plug? I haven't done this in a while, but do y'all want to plug y'all stuff?
At Brother Ghoulish on all things.
So he has a podcast, Brother Ghoulish too. You can find him on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, even Spotify, and leave a review, give him 5 stars, and listen because I'm sure that Ryan has some great stuff coming up. So,
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, because you gave us that little snippet. Child is more than that. Michael. Now, before you would just say you can find me at Thackeray Banks, but now
you're right. I do have something else coming up at Thackeray Banks at OnlyFans, and you can find you can find me reading erotica fully clothed. $25.99.
What you're supposed to do is not tell them you'll be fully clothed. So then they pay for the OnlyFans, and then you're sitting there and like,
you gotta get that coin.
Sister Superior, and I'm reading a book.
They would get
and my Maya Angelou voice.
Oh my God, I'd pay for that. That's actually iconic.
But you can find me on Twitter at Thackeray Binks 86. Also on Instagram, I don't really post it on there. I do have a podcast coming out on the 8th, The People Under the Scares. So you can follow that page on Twitter at people_scares. And that'll be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Well, a few of them shits. I don't really know the other ones. I'm still trying to learn everything.
Everywhere you can listen to podcasts.
Yes, all the podcasts.
That is dope. Well, congratulations, my good friend. On
Thank
the
you.
podcast.
And I got to get Ryan on there too. We got to find a movie.
Your choice. Just pick. I'll show up.
If y'all ain't going to do Society on UV, then I might.
We're going to do it.
Society.
We're going to do it. I didn't forget about Society. Oh yeah, let's plug that. So UV Society, we do Clubhouse watch parties every Thursday on Clubhouse. It's the UV Horror Society. Pretty much we're all there. Ryan, Michael, Mark, myself, and a couple of friends. We watch horror movies every Thursday around 6:30 p.m. or 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, this month, October, we're doing all pretty much Halloween themed horror movies. And I think that we have a good one coming up this Thursday, but I gotta talk to these guys first. So yeah, get into our UV Horror Society. I'm probably saying it wrong, but you know what I'm saying. On our Clubhouse, and to check out our watch parties. It's a lot of fun. Last week we did Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and that was so much fun.
Yes,
that was my favorite one so far. Just so you know, I didn't tell you that.
Really?
Yeah, it slayed me over.
Okay.
I had so much fun.
All right. Well, one thing I love about and this is no shade at all, because I love Clubhouse and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like when we actually can focus on a movie and like laugh and enjoy what's going on and actually stay focused. Like that's my favorite parts. Because there's times, again, I've been in Clubhouses where it goes off into different topics, and then like we miss the fun parts, the exciting parts, and then it just turned into a whole different conversation. And I'm just like, okay. I mean, this is fun, but the whole point is for the movie. I like to say.
I agree.
Yeah. So I think for like Elvira, like it wouldn't have been as fun if it went somewhere else, and you actually got to enjoy the movie, Ryan, because this was your first time watching it.
So that was my first time watching the whole thing, and I think it still holds up.
It's amazing.
So, good jokes. I got to watch the other movies though.
Yeah, the dude she wanted was actually attractive. That helps.
Just her trying to get home.
He had a Lou Ferrigno thing going on. I like his.
Mike, I was going back and forth because I didn't go on IMDb. I was like, is that him? Like, is that dude from Pedal?
Not Lou Ferrigno.
Because he looks just beefy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Did we establish if he was gay or not? I don't remember what happened.
He is in my fantasies. Or DL.
Look, that's why he wasn't with. We don't mess with the DLs because they're problematic in a lot of ways. All right, this is gonna go off to a whole different situation, a different story. But Elvira was a lot of fun. So yeah, check out our UV Horror Society page on Clubhouse and check on there soon to see what movie is next for this coming Thursday.
Yes.
So yeah. All right, guys. This was a lot of fun. Until Saturday. Until the next episode. Y'all coming back?
Yes.
Yes. I shall be back.
Okay. Let me stop. All right, guys. Everybody have a good Sunday that's watching, and I'll see you guys next Saturday. Peace out.
Night.
Bye.